this is more concerning that cell that I spoke of in the last post about the immortal amoeba. And this is from the same author. And I'm going to begin right here reading. They had found some tablets, and they were read to them. And these are the words translated into English as faithfully as we are able to present them. That there is an all-wise, intelligent spirit, that this intelligence is divine and infinite and premeets all things, cannot be contradicted. Because this intelligence does premeet all things, it is infinite and is the source of all. It is divine, and its divinity brought into thinkable or visible form, the fact or truth of all things. You can name this all-wise, intelligent spirit God or good or what you will, as man must have a name for everything. Once he has named a thing, he has power to bring it into existence. If man names anything through true reverence, worship, and praise, he can and does become that which he names. Thus you can see that man by choice can become God or animal. He becomes the ideal which he presents for himself to follow. With this line of thinking, it is simple to see that man is the only begotten Son of God, or the only begotten son of the animal. Thus, by choice, man can become evil or devil if his eye beholds evil, or he becomes God if his eye beholds God. In the formless state, the all-wise, intelligent spirit was silent and contemplative, yet the intelligence was there, and saw itself as the producer as well as the spectator of all animate and inanimate things. In this silent state, the all-wise, intelligent spirit saw there was no modification, and resolving to emanate or bring forth the universe, this intelligence formed a picture of what the universe should be. Having naught but the perfect picture or divine plan to follow, the universe willingly took the form directed by the intelligence. The divine ideal picture was expanded until it came into perfect visibility. This is the universe that we see today that is going on with the perfect plan held forth for it to assume. This intelligence is, and always has been, the perceiver and director of its perfect divine ideal plan. This intelligence knew that it was necessary to bring forth animate form and endow it with all potentialities, through which it could express fully. This is what is known as immortal man. This divine ideal, which differentiates itself in all phases and directions, is the immortal of each man today. As this man was created in the divine ideal of all-wise intelligence, spirit, he was set forth as the son of the principle, with dominion over every attribute and every condition. Son means union with, not a servant of. It was necessary that this son be wholly free to choose and in no way become a slave or a puppet. This immortal ideal must always include a portion or spark of the central fire of that which brought or projected it into existence. This projection was the first cell that finally became man's body, and is the spark of life that always endures and never dies. This cell is, in name, the Christ. This cell, although divided and repeated many millions of times, retains the image of the divine spirit projected and implanted in it, and cannot be perverted by man's thinking. Thus man is always divine. This cell projects its divinity into every cell created by the multiplication of itself, unless perverted by man's thinking. The collection of these cells finally assumes unto itself a container or cover which is called the human body. The spirit or essence, still in unmodified form, has the intelligence to see all changes going on all around it. By always standing in his high dominion, man is spirit and spirit is God. This higher self must be thought of, pondered over, worshipped, and blessed as being right within man. First, there must be faith that it is there. This brings forth the knowing that it does exist in man. Then the blessings and thanksgiving given bring it into, let me read it again. Then the blessings and the thanksgiving bring it into visibility. Man is that very thing itself. This is the way to the attainment of all knowledge. The brain at first seems to be the perceiver, because it is the aggregation of the more delicate cells, and these cells first accept the vibrations and amplify them so that they may be perceived by man. Then they are selected and sent to all the other organs, and each, if held in divine order, goes to the very organ to which it belongs. Each organ and nerve center is the seat or special amplifying center for centralizing the real man. When they are harmonized and coordinated, man stands forth in all dominion and power. He has brought forth the Holy Ghost, the whole of the all-wise, intelligent Spirit, in creative action. This is soul and body brought to one focal center. No man ever accomplishes anything unless he consciously or unconsciously brings every faculty to this one center. This is the place of power, the Christ within man, the place where man stands supreme. Then how can man suffer discord, inharmony, sin, or sickness? Unless he idolizes them and brings them into existence. If he stands forth always and at all times as the all-wise intelligent Spirit and knows no other, he cannot be conscious of anything less. With this highest ideal always held in the clear waters of man's intelligent thinking, he becomes God. He is certain to be answered by this inner voice at all times. Back of will stands desire. Will, in its truest state, is a pure colorless force and is moved into action by desire. If there is no color or direction given to will, it is inactive. Place the desire in harmony with the will force, and it will spring into action immediately and call legions to carry out its commands. The only requirement being that the commands are in divine order. There are myriads of worlds. There is but one thought out of which they grew. Its law is order, which cannot swerve. Its creatures are free to choose. Only they can create disorder, which in itself is pain and woe, hate and fear. These they alone can bring forth. The great principle stands forth as a golden light. It is not remote, it is right within yourself. Hold yourself within its glow, and you will behold all things clearly. First, with all of your being, know one thing, that your own thought, when you stand, is one with that thought which brought forth the worlds. Out of the blackness of disorder and its outpouring of human misery, there must arise the order which is peace. When man learns that he is one with the thought which is of itself all beauty, all power, and all repose, he will know that his brother cannot rob him of his heart's desire. He will stand in the light and draw unto himself his own. Let pass through your mind, my son, only the image you desire, which is truth. Meditate only upon the true desire of your heart, knowing that it does not wrong any man and is most noble. Now it takes earthly form and is yours. This is the law through which you bring forth your heart's desire. Let him who puts forth his hand to draw the lightning to his brother Recall that through his own soul and body will pass the bolt. With further research, these tablets may prove to be copies of former records made to preserve the originals. If copies, they must have been made during the early Indo-Aryan age. As far as is known, there is nothing like them in existence today. From what source but the one did they spring? Thus they could be repeated in song and verse many thousands of times. O men, where is your crown? From eternity it passes on. Where is your soul? But from the infinite it grew. Forever and forever it is but select to you. Here were the 4 tablets set before us, each one worth a king's ransom. And I will end this with saying that I'm looking through a lot of the things I've read before online. Of course, not everybody's heard that, because I have several hundred videos I've made, and so you're not familiar with all of them. So I'm bringing out some of the material from them that talks about this cell. And this cell is called the Christ cell, and it's in everyone. And it's pure in us if we will arrange our thinking to be so that we don't belittle that which is right within our own selves, and we go within our own selves to find the truth. That's really the only place we're going to find it. Okay, over and out for the Dove Lady right now. I'll see if I can find even more on this subject.